In this video, I'll explain how we can fix Great Britain. What we have here is a union of nations that has become unknowing of itself, over-focused on external diversity and not enough focus on internal unity, up for celebrating the world's festivals and religious events and not even knowing those of our own, deindustrialized to the point where we make nothing and are just middlemen to a service industry. Many losing purpose in their lives and trying to numb that lost purpose by cheap entertainment and thrills, drinking ourselves to oblivion, and in other cases, drugged up to our eyeballs. Churches left empty. Churches turned to wokery. Churches still remaining empty. Churches being taken over by others and turned into mosques in some cases. All religions are equal apart from the home religion that has to take a spanking in the media and the wider society by a religion that is a corruption of what this country has stood for over centuries. God is dead, as they say, and with it, humanity of men. Money, money, money. Things, things, shiny things, and some more money. That is all we care about. And we will do anything to achieve more of it. If it means selling our bodies and our souls, so be it. Neighborhoods have become unfamiliar to the eyes of many. And we keep filtering in more and more people who keep increasing that unfamiliarity. Mass immigration, legal and illegal, especially of people from diametrically opposed cultures and values, replacing those of these lands, memories of whose ancestors is supposed to inform the direction of the future. But that case seems to be steadily dying and being replaced by a new reality, year on year. Even those coming here with the best of intentions won't know what is expected of them, since there won't be anyone left to inform them, by choice or by forced silence, of the native thought. Turning Britain into an international refugee center, area one of many. Increasing crime, violent crime, sexual assaults, streets not being safe at all, having to take precautions that no one ever thought necessary. People behaving like animals, yet no one willing to point it out, and if you do, then you are the problem. Not the animals behaving like the unevolved, broken families and fatherlessness. But let's not say anything. Let's not try to put any measures to fix it. Let's keep spending more money that we don't have, giving people more benefits, and build more youth centers. Yes, that will fix it, right? That will fix the feral problem in the inner cities. And if anyone sets up a school or center to actually tackle the problem, demonize them for being too strict or loving the fellow man or come up with whatever thing that you want to. The daughters of this country being raped and groomed in high numbers over so many years, religiously motivated by people who declare themselves as enemies and clearly do not belong here. But let's not do anything about it, right? Let's cover it up instead because we don't want to be racist. Let's not deport those monsters because it ruins the family life of the rapist who raped a 12-year-old girl. The life of the working class and lower class is cheap and dispensable. Who cares about them? Just shut up and put up. I can go on and on and on. And you have heard it all. And you are living it. And you are tired of it all. We all want a solution. We want to do something. But everyone keeps talking about it and no one provides a clear solution. Politics won't fix these problems on its own, even if by some miracle we were to get the right people there who actually wanted to fix these problems and not just line their own pockets. It is still not the only solution. the mainstream media, and the government depend on our effort and money to sustain itself. And it depends on keeping us divided and fighting amongst ourselves. If the British people pooled their resources together and started acting for their own best interests collectively, then you decrease your dependency on the government and you take away their control. The Church of England's endowment of approximately £8.7 billion generates around £1 billion in annual income, with direct donations totaling around £460 million and parish reserves contributing around £100 million. There were 24.4 million TV licenses in force in the year to March 2023, raising almost £3.8 billion per year in revenue in 2023-24. This reduced to £3.66 billion, but still a lot. The TV license fee amount in the UK was ranked 4th highest by the European Broadcasting Union compared to other European countries as of January 2023. Education spending is the second largest element of public service spending in the UK, behind health. In 2024-25, the UK government allocated £60.7 billion in revenue funding to schools in England, with an additional £2 billion in funding announced for 23-24 and 24-25. In 2022-23, the NHS in England spent £181.7 billion, with the vast majority, 94.6%, going towards day-to-day items like staff salaries and medicines. Under current government plans, tax revenue is forecasted to rise to 37.7% of GDP by 2027-28. Are we experiencing any benefits in our daily lives for ourselves or for our children? We seem good at spending money, but not getting anything valuable out of it. Church of England defuncts 20 to 24 churches every year, which are no longer needed for worship because of falling numbers. These are sold off for other use. According to Ipsos and Ofcom, 64% of the UK population use online intermediaries to access news. We have a decreasing number of homegrown engineers and doctors in this country, and the national IQ is falling year on year. So the answer would be no. We are not experiencing any benefits of all the taxes that we are giving to the government. We are increasingly experiencing more harm and negatives. Yet these are the things that we need to focus on to find a way out of this whole mess, to revive the culture, raise the national intellect, and create a political will to deliver on the British interests for the British people. Let me share a couple of ideas to kickstart this national brainstorming session. Okay, so here's an idea. You could create some sort of a hub or a union where millions pay in a monthly amount, and you use that money with utmost transparency to help family-run local businesses, build good public schools with conservative ethics, recover and restore churches from the Church of England and make them the hub of communities again. Invest in local startups that connect British workers with British products and boost manufacturing. Help fight legal cases for those being targeted by woke employers and the current political prisoners put in prison by Starmer and co. Help local charities, like charities providing bus shelter and re-engagement of rough sleepers into society. Hospices help older people struggling with their bills in winter. Help victims of rape gangs, and on and on. Many insular and parallel communities do this within Western countries for their own. For example, you will see various Muslim charities or Sikh charities or Jewish organizations doing such collective work to safeguard their own interest. Maybe it is time for British to pull together and safeguard their own interests, as the government, or dare I say even the king, doesn't seem much interested. As mentioned before, there are around 24.4 million license fee payers, paying around £14 a month, adding up to around £340 million per month. Imagine if half of those people paid even less than half their monthly license fee to an organization like this, which is dedicated to building for the local communities and supporting them. You could collectively end up sponsoring the establishment of a school almost every other month in various neglected, deprived communities. Public schools like Michaela School, built around discipline and a focus on learning good quality education, producing good outcomes, but instead of inner cities, focus on giving the future native British population a fighting chance. You could end up sponsoring the revival of churches from Church of England so they don't end up becoming a mosque or something else, and instead gifting them to a church that actually upholds Christian values, and many other things. We could enable the doing of tangible good and not just words. A committee of trustworthy people with strategic and business acumen, all work done with complete transparency, set up so that you can filter your money into one point, and from there it can be targeted for maximum effect. Imagine the possibilities of the good it can do. We can start off from one project and expand on it. For example, we build a church, a self-sustaining church with a farmstead, and a school alongside it. Make that church a truer representation of the wisdom of Christ. Make it a hub for the community. Also operate it as a rehabilitation center for those in society fallen on unfortunate times. Run soup kitchens or food banks if required. Build a school with conservative ethics to give the best chance for a bright future to kids. High focus on good quality education and community work. Commission independent educators and trainers to create free-to-use materials on different subjects for all members, all ages, including training people on the basics of economics, taxation, and laws in Britain. Arm them with knowledge. Create scholarships for trade schools and hard sciences degrees for British youth. Connect the kids and staff and the church clergy with the farmstead, land, nature, place, to give people a deeper understanding of belonging. Hire mostly ex-military staff and teachers. Operate a neighborhood watch with the help and experience of those ex-military members. Then you start building these stronghold anchors, one by one, in different localities. Now, if we are adamant that no, we need to solve this politically first in the immediate before we can think about the long term, then let's create a different type of online hub. Sign up at least 1 million people who want a better future, at least 1 million who are happy to donate a one-time payment with a focus on 5 to 10 deliverable policy priorities at least. Take those payments and hold it in a transparent way somewhere. Ask existing parties or any new political party to bid on that tender. Have them audition for that public funding. Make their case. The one with the most member votes wins. Prior to that, you can draw up 20 to 30 policy points in their at a minimum deliverable form. Run polls with members. Choose the top 5 to 10 most voted on policy points for the parties to compete on. They don't need to be detailed, but what the public would expect at a minimum. And then the prospective party can make their arguments and compete with each other for the funds. And in doing so, they will build on that minimum requirement. As an example, let's take the case of immigration. So a minimum requirement policy point would be deport all illegal immigrants and foreign criminals. Now each party can make their case. Some can go steps further and say that they will deport all illegal immigrants and foreign criminals, and they will deport all immigrants who have failed to integrate. Another party might take the argument differently. They might say they want to give amnesty to the ones here and stop future illegal immigration. Or another might say we will deport all immigrants no matter what. They can say they will even deport me. They all just can't rely on rhetorics. They must give clear, laid out policies and roadmap to how they will achieve what they are promising. and then members can decide accordingly. No gatekeeping of any sort. And immigration can have multiple other points to vote on. For example, pause on all immigration can be a minimum requirement policy point, and then parties can argue and compete on whether it should be all immigration. Could there be some temporary schemes to allow people from similar cultures who can fill in market gaps? Should it be a 5-year pause or generational pause, which is like around 30 years? Or should there be a permanent stop, or even that there should not be a stop at all, that the immigration should not have any pause at all? Members can be from left to right side of politics, and so can be the competing political parties. It doesn't matter. No gatekeeping. What matters is that it is a bottom-up approach to politics. You decide what policies you want for your party to adopt. Make them audition for it, and then give them a war chest to deliver on those promises. Imagine 1 million people giving £100 one-time payment, or 2 million people giving £50 one-time payment. A war chest of £100 million to deliver on your chosen policies. That is a definite winner. These are some of the ideas. You can choose to go with one or both of them at the same time, or come up with a new one. Money, whether £10 or 100 or 1 million, in the hands of the individual remains powerless, there to be exploited by the state or other entities. But the collective power of a small sum can have a powerful effect on our current state. A lot of fight back and ideas that are floating these days seem to have a top-down approach, think tanks and whatnot. Good ideas that could be effective, but I think we need more of a bottom-up approach. Otherwise, no matter what, the voices of the working class will always get silenced. I personally wanted more time to develop on these ideas and maybe research more and involve better minds than myself into the process. But I don't think we might have that much time left. So we go on, prematurely trying to be proactive in a reactive world. Whatever it may be, fight to save Britain needs to come from the British people. If you are going to primarily depend on foreign people to fight your battles for you, then you have already lost before even starting. And if you're always going to be unwilling to act, thinking or hoping someone else to pick up the fight, then you have already given up. This is your country, fought for by the blood, sweat, and tears of your ancestors, maintained and made prosperous by their ingenuity and determination. Do not let their efforts slip away into nothingness. Take up your personal and social responsibilities. Do not cease from mental fight, nor let your sword sleep in your hand, till you have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land.